Welcome to today's video. In this video, we're going to take you on a truly inspiring journey. The story of Jake, a young man who transformed his life in just 5 months by learning English. If you're someone who struggles with speaking English or lacks confidence, this story will show you what's possible with dedication and the right mindset. So stay with us till the end, because Jake's story might just be the motivation you need to start your own journey today. Jake was a young man who lived in a small, peaceful town. He had big dreams. Ever since he was a teenager, he wanted to work for a famous international company, travel the world, and meet people from different countries. But one thing always stood in his way: English. He had studied English in school, but he never practiced speaking it. Whenever someone spoke English around him, he felt nervous and confused. Words didn't come out easily. He was afraid of making mistakes and being laughed at. One day, everything changed. Jake saw a job opening at his dream company. He couldn't believe it. He read the job post again and again. He felt excited and nervous at the same time. He decided to apply, even though he knew the interview would be in English. A week later, he got an email. He had been shortlisted. The interview was in 3 days. Jake tried to prepare, but his fear of speaking English was too strong. On the day of the interview, he sat in front of the panel, heart pounding. The questions were simple, but his mind went blank. He struggled to answer. He couldn't express his thoughts. The interview ended in silence and disappointment. Jake went home and sat quietly. He felt broken. But after some time, he stood in front of the mirror and said, "Enough. I will never feel like this again. I will learn English. I will speak with confidence. No matter how hard it is, I won't stop." From that moment, Jake started his journey. He gave himself 5 months. He didn't join any expensive classes. He used free resources and made a plan. In the first month, he started watching simple English videos on YouTube. He chose beginner-level content with subtitles. Every day, for at least 30 minutes, he watched, paused, and repeated. Slowly, he started understanding more words. He began to enjoy it. In the second month, Jake created a daily habit of learning 10 new English words. He wrote them on flashcards, made sentences with them, and practiced in front of the mirror. He also listened to English songs with lyrics and tried to sing along. It was fun, and it helped him remember words. In the third month, he began reading short English stories. At night, before sleeping, he read one story. He underlined difficult words and searched their meanings. Then, he would close the book and try to retell the story in his own words. This helped improve his vocabulary and confidence. By the 4th month, Jake was ready to speak with others. He joined an online English speaking group where people from different countries practiced together. In the beginning, he just listened. Then he started speaking slowly. His voice shook sometimes, but he didn't stop. Each week, he improved. In the 5th month, Jake focused on fluency. He recorded himself speaking about different topics. Then he listened to the recordings, found his mistakes, and corrected them. He also started thinking in English, while walking, cooking, or waiting in line. English became part of his daily life. One morning, Jake saw the same job opening again. This time, he didn't feel fear. He felt ready. He applied confidently. In the interview, he smiled and spoke clearly. He wasn't perfect, but he communicated well. The interviewers were impressed by his dedication and growth. A few days later, Jake got the call he had been waiting for. "Congratulations, you're hired." He couldn't believe it. His 5 months of hard work had changed his life. Jake's journey is a lesson for all English learners. You don't need to be perfect. You just need to start. A few minutes every day with consistency and effort can take you far. If Jake can do it, so can you. Start today, keep going, and one day you'll tell your own story, just like Jake did. Chapter 2. After getting the job, Jake felt like he was living a dream. But soon he realized something important. Learning English wasn't just about getting the job. It was about growing every day, becoming more confident, and connecting with people from all over the world. In his new office, most of his co-workers spoke fluent English. In meetings, they used business terms and spoke quickly. Jake could understand most of it, but sometimes he struggled. He didn't want to feel lost again, so he made a new promise to himself. Now that I've started this journey, I'll never stop learning. Every morning before going to work, Jake spent 15 minutes reading business articles in English. He didn't rush. He took his time, wrote down difficult words, and learned how they were used in real situations. This helped him feel more confident in meetings. He also began watching TED Talks and listening to English podcasts during his commute. Some speakers were fast, but Jake used the pause button like a best friend. He repeated the parts he didn't understand and tried to copy the speaker's tone and pronunciation. It felt like he had personal coaches speaking directly to him. At work, Jake started asking questions when he didn't understand something, without feeling shy or embarrassed. He knew now that asking was better than pretending. His co-workers appreciated his honesty and even supported him by explaining difficult phrases or idioms. One day, Jake was asked to give a short presentation about his team's progress. It was his first time speaking in front of so many people in English. He was nervous, but he prepared carefully. He wrote down his main points, practiced them out loud, and even recorded himself to check his tone and clarity. When the day came, he stood confidently, greeted everyone, and shared his ideas clearly. The room was silent, listening to him. When he finished, there was a short pause, and then a round of applause. His manager smiled and said, "Great job, Jake." That was clear and professional. That moment changed something inside him. It made him believe that confidence doesn't come from speaking perfect English. It comes from practice, patience, and the courage to try. Outside work, Jake also continued growing. He made international friends online and joined a small book club where people discussed short English novels. He wasn't afraid to share his opinions, even if he made small mistakes. He knew every sentence he spoke made him better. Months passed, and Jake's fluency became natural. He could express his ideas, crack jokes, and even understand humor in English. He started mentoring others who were learning the language, sharing the same simple tips that helped him. Watch, listen, speak, repeat, every single day. Jake's story teaches us that English isn't just a subject. It's a tool to open doors, build confidence, and connect with the world. His journey didn't end when he got the job. It became a lifestyle, a daily habit of growth and learning. Chapter 3. Months went by, and Jake's confidence in English continued to grow. He was no longer the shy learner who feared speaking. Now he was someone who enjoyed using English in meetings, in conversations, even in casual talks with strangers. But deep down, Jake hadn't forgotten how hard it was in the beginning. He remembered the struggle, the fear, and the loneliness of not being understood. One day, while scrolling through a social media group for English learners, Jake saw a post from someone who reminded him of his old self. The message said, "I feel like I'll never speak English fluently. I'm just not good enough." Jake paused for a moment, and then replied with a kind, encouraging message. "I used to feel the same, but believe me, you're not alone. If I can do it, so can you. Step by step, day by day." That small reply changed everything. More people started messaging Jake, asking for tips, sharing their problems, and thanking him for the motivation. Jake realized something powerful. His journey could inspire others. He didn't need to be a teacher or an expert. He just had to be honest and helpful. So he created a small online group called Fluent Together. The idea was simple. People from around the world would meet once a week on video calls and practice speaking English in a friendly, pressure-free space. No judgment, no fear, just support. At first, only 5 people joined, then 10, then 20. Every week, Jake prepared a topic, something fun and simple like your favorite movie, a special memory, or a travel dream. Each person would take a turn sharing, and others would listen patiently, giving kind feedback and learning from one another. Soon, something amazing began to happen. People who once stayed silent were now telling full stories. Members who were scared to speak were now laughing, joking, and expressing themselves freely. One of the members, Anna from Brazil, said, "Jake, I used to be afraid of speaking in English. Now, I look forward to it every week. You've changed my life." Her words brought tears to Jake's eyes. The group became a small family. They celebrated birthdays, shared personal news, and even helped each other with job interviews and travel plans. All through English, a language that had once seemed so difficult. Jake realized that learning English had given him more than just fluency. It had given him purpose. He was no longer learning just for himself. He was now a guide, a friend, and a source of hope for many. And the best part? He was still learning too, from every conversation, every mistake, every shared story. Because real fluency isn't just about knowing words. It's about connecting hearts. Jake's journey shows us that when you grow, you can help others grow too. Your struggle becomes someone else's inspiration. And together, you don't just learn a language, you build a community. Chapter 4. As Jake's Fluent Together group grew, so did his sense of purpose. Every week he watched members grow in confidence. They spoke better, laughed more, and shared their experiences with such passion. Jake realized something important. If he could reach this many people in a small online group, why not try to help even more people? One night, as he sat by his desk staring at his phone, Jake had an idea. What if I could create something bigger? He thought about the thousands of English learners around the world who didn't have access to a community like his. What if he could share his journey, his tips, and his lessons with everyone? After some deep thinking, Jake decided to start a YouTube channel. The thought was exciting, but also intimidating. He had never made videos before, and he was still learning how to communicate effectively. But he remembered how his own fears had held him back in the past, and he wasn't about to let that stop him now. Jake named his channel English with Jake. His mission was simple: to create videos that would help English learners feel confident, just like he had. He didn't want his videos to be like the boring, textbook-style lessons people often saw. Number. His videos would be fun, relatable, and full of real-life experiences. The first video he made was about his own journey, a personal story. He titled it, "How I Learned English in 5 Months, My Story." In the video, Jake shared everything: how he felt in the beginning, the mistakes he made, and the breakthroughs that changed everything. He also gave some advice on practical steps people could take to improve their English every day. To his surprise, the video got hundreds of views in the first few days. People left comments saying how much they could relate to him, how his honesty made them feel like they weren't alone in their struggles. Jake realized that there was a real need for more content like this. Content that was honest, human, and empowering. Encouraged by the positive response, Jake uploaded more videos. He made lessons on common English mistakes, tips for building confidence when speaking, and even fun challenges where viewers could practice with him. He made sure each video had a personal touch, something that would connect with his audience on an emotional level. But it wasn't all easy. There were days when Jake doubted himself. He wasn't a professional content creator, and sometimes his videos didn't turn out as planned. But he kept going, remembering how far he had come. And slowly, his channel started to grow. More and more people from different parts of the world began subscribing, commenting, and sharing their own stories. Jake felt like his mission was coming true. He was reaching people in a way he never imagined. The real turning point came when Jake received a message from a viewer named Priya from India. She wrote, "Jake, I watched your first video and decided to follow your advice. I've been struggling with English for years, but I felt your story gave me hope. I started practicing every day, and now I've passed my job interview. Thank you so much." Jake smiled. He realized that what started as a personal journey to improve his own English had turned into something much bigger, a movement that connected people across the world, united by the desire to learn and grow. With each new video, Jake found himself becoming not just a teacher, but a learner as well. His students, his viewers, taught him just as much as he taught them. They showed him new ways to think about English, and even more importantly, they reminded him of the power of human connection. Jake's story was no longer just about him. It was a story shared by thousands of learners around the world. And as long as there were people struggling with the same fears and obstacles he once faced, Jake knew he had a purpose: to keep helping, keep growing, and keep learning. Together. Last chapter. As Jake's YouTube channel grew, so did his impact. He had started with a simple desire to improve his own English, but now, years later, he had become a mentor to thousands of people around the world. His journey was no longer just about mastering a language. It was about connecting, sharing, and inspiring others to pursue their dreams despite the challenges they faced. Jake's English with Jake channel was thriving. Every day he received messages from people who had transformed their lives by following his advice. Students who had once struggled with speaking were now confidently having conversations in English. People who had been shy and afraid to make mistakes were embracing their flaws and learning from them. Jake had created a community that was more than just a space for learning. It was a family, a place where people supported each other and celebrated progress. But success didn't make Jake forget the struggles he had faced. He still remembered the late nights he had spent practicing, the times he felt defeated, and the moments when he almost gave up. And every time a new viewer told him how his videos had helped them, Jake couldn't help but reflect on the journey that had brought him here. One afternoon, as he sat at his desk reading a heartfelt comment, Jake realized how far he had come. He wasn't just teaching English anymore. He was teaching people how to believe in themselves, to push through difficulties, and to keep learning no matter how hard it seemed. And that, to him, was the most important lesson of all. In the months that followed, Jake continued to create videos, reaching even more people and helping even more learners. His community kept growing, and he received invitations to speak at conferences, collaborate with other educators, and share his story with even bigger audiences. But despite the success, Jake never lost sight of what mattered most: helping others and staying true to his roots. He had started with a simple idea: to learn English and share his experience. Now, Jake's story was a testament to the power of persistence, community, and the belief that anyone, no matter where they started, could achieve their goals. As he recorded his final video for the year, Jake smiled at the camera, knowing that this was only the beginning. He had come a long way, but his journey was far from over. There would always be more to learn, more to share, and more lives to touch. And with every new learner who took that first step, Jake knew his mission was not just to teach English, but to inspire people to never give up, because the journey of learning is one that never truly ends. And so, Jake's story continues, not just in his videos, but in every person whose life was touched by his words, his message, and his journey. Together, they were all growing, learning, and becoming the best versions of themselves. Jake's journey is a reminder that progress is possible for anyone, no matter where they start. If you enjoyed this story and want to keep learning, don't forget to subscribe and hit the notification bell. Thanks for watching, and I'll see you in the next video.